Hi buddies, welcome again to my channel. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support. For my first time viewers, thank you for being here, and also from TikTok as well. I appreciate your engagement on my post. In this video, we'll be learning how to sew this that you can see on your screen. It is a two-piece. It is an Ankara top with an inverted hemline and a pointy collar. I didn't record the tutorial for the yellow, but then I had to recreate in the black. So if this is something you would like to learn, please stick to the end of the video, and do not forget to like, to subscribe, drop a comment, and turn on your notification bell as well. We'll go straight into the tutorial, and these are the measurements that we'll be needing. This is the bust measurement at 34, the bust point 9, waist 26, shoulder to waist in the front 15.5, the one at the back 14. We'll be needing this particular measurement for fitting purposes, just so the clothes can have better fitting because of the bust that we have in front. So the shoulder to waist in the front is going to be always longer than that of the back. So in case you don't know how to take such measurement, this is how you take it. And for accuracy purpose, do not forget to tie a rope by your waist. For the purpose of this tutorial and the clients we are working with, which is myself, the shoulder to waist in front is 15.5, the back 14, the shoulder measurement is at 14, then waist to hip or your total length. For the waist to hip here is 28. I'm sorry, 8. My top length is about 23 or so. Then so it's either you get the waist to hip measurement or you are using the top length measurement. Then the round sleeve and then the sleeve length. So we'll go straight into what we are to do. This is a crepe fabric. That's what I'm going to be using for the collar, and this is a lining, and this is Ankara. So now the Ankara, for your fashion fabric that you want to use, it is dependent on the size of the client. So you'll be needing like 1.5 to 2 yards or to 2.5 yards, depending on the size that you want to work it. So let's just go straight into the tutorial. So now I have gone ahead to roll this as a straight line. It will be our starting point, and that's where all our measurements will begin from. So now bringing back this measurement. So don't forget that when you're trying to use your to draft out use your own measurement, please. So we start with the bust point. Shoulder to bust point, that is at 9 inches here. So you draw a straight line at that point at 9 inches. Then from the shoulder again to the waist in front, you are drafting the front pattern first. Shoulder to that to the waist in front is at 15.5. You mark it 15.5. Then you go ahead and draw a straight line as well. Then the waist to hip or your top length, anyone you want to do. But I like to use my waist to hip. Waist to hip is at 8 inches. Mark it. Then you also draw a straight line. So now we'll now start by taking our regular measurement. So on the starting point, I will take the shoulder measurement, which is 14. 14 divided by 2 will give us 4. Sorry, will give us 7 rather. Yeah. Then we come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. Then from here, I'm going in by 3 inches. This is like your normal basic bodies that you usually draft. Okay. And then I'm coming down by 2.5. Normally you can come down by 3, but because of the color that we want to put, I don't want it to be too low, and also I don't want to be too tight that will be choking my neck. Just do what works for you. You could use 3. If you're on a small size like I am, you can just go ahead and use 2.5 or 3 inches really, but I like to use it at 2.5 for this particular one. So that has been drawn out here. Then I wanna go ahead to do the to mark my chest line. Chest line is how you get this is 34 divided by 6 plus 1.5. Here I'm getting 7. So you will start the 7 measurement from the shoulder so that you came down by 7 here. So the difference between this place and this place for me is 1 inch. So you can just go ahead and replace the 1 inch over around here. So you can draw a straight line. It does not have to get to the end though, just to get a straight line. So you can repeat what you have here. This 14 that you have here that divided into 2 as 7. You can repeat it on this chest line so that you can have a straight line. So you want to draw our armhole, and you have to divide whatever you have here by 2. For me, it's at 3.5. I've marked it, and I'll come in by half of an inch. So I'll go ahead and draw this like this. Then on my chest line, I will mark my bust divided by 4. My bust here is 34, so 34 divided by 4 is what I'll be marking at that point. Is at 8.5. So just go ahead and complete your armhole curve from that point. So moving on your waistline, you want to come in by your nipple to nipple measurement. I was supposed to add that on your measurement list. Nipple to nipple. For me, it is at 7 inches. So that 7 inches, I'm going to divide it by 2, which is at 3.5. This is for us to get our dart. Here, 3.5. Also mark it at the bust point. Then you can also mark it at the total length as well, 0.5. Then connect a straight line. Now on the waistline, not on the bust line, on the waistline, that's where you want to take in your dart measurement. Go by half an inch on both sides. You can do 0.75 if you are busty. You can also use 1 inch too if you are really busty. But for smaller bust like this, you can use 0.5 or 0.75. But for this purpose, I'm using 0.5 on both sides. So 0.5 on both sides here. Then I'll come down by 1 inch on this bust point. From this bust point, I'll come down by 1 inch and then connect it here like this way. Then on my waist to hip, I will come down by 6 inches. Then I'll go ahead and draw my data as well. So at this point, I'm done with the whole dart for this line. So now on my waist measurement, on my waistline, I want to take my waist measurement. The waist measurement I'm working with is 26 inches. So you divide your waist measurement by 4. Mine here is 26. So 26 divided by 4 is at 6.5. I mark the 6.5 like this. Then I'm going to go ahead and replace this dart. That is at 1 inch. Replace it this way. I'll go ahead and connect. You also need your hip measurement as well. The hip I'm working with here is at 38. So 38 divided by 4. Go ahead and divide your hip measurement by 4. For me, it is 38. So 38 divided by 4. 38 divided by 4 is at 9.5. Is at 9.5 here. There is no dart to replace on the hip line, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Then I'm going to come out by
1.5 inch, 1.5 inches for this point. This is just for the lower part of the um top to look to have like a bit flare there. That's just the purpose of this. If you don't want your own to have that flare, you don't have to put it. You just go ahead and connect it this way. So at this point, this is what we are having. This is what your pattern should be looking like at this point. So now, because of the bust that with the difference in the front and back measurement, you have to take it on your bust line here. So now use your own measurement, please. The difference between this front shoulder to waist and this, if you minus them, is at 1.5 inches. 15.5 minus 14 inches is at 1.5. If some people's own, the front can be 16 and the back is 14. The difference between that one like that is 2. Some people's own, the front can be 18, the back can be 15. The difference between that is 3. So whatever measurement that you get for yourself or for your clients, when you take it, just subtract the difference between the shoulder to waist in the front and the shoulder to waist at the back. So for this one that I'm doing, 15.5 minus 14 will give me 1.5 inches. So that 1.5 inches, I'm going to take it here. From your bust line, come down by your difference. Mine is 1.5. You mark it at this point. Then go ahead and connect it to this point. So this is what this is looking like at this point. So now for the design at the lower part, we want to go ahead and draw out that design. And before then, I want to extend my waist to hip measurement. I want to extend it by 2. So go ahead and extend yours too. If we are using this kind of measurement, if it is a waist to hip measurement that you are using, extend it by 2 inches. And what you have at this point, so just go ahead and extend it and draw it out here. So now on this new total top length that you have now, you want to go in by 6 inches. Now this 6 inches is not a standard, but it is dependent on how much wideness you want for your inverted design that is in front of the top. Mine is this wide, so this is how I want mine, is at 6 inches. Now from the waist to the hip, I want to, from the waist measurement rather, I want to come down by 6.5 inches. So from that 6.5, I'm going to connect it to this shape, to this 6 inches that we've marked here. So I'm trying to find the best curve that I can use for this. I ended up going a bit up than what I had marked, so it should be at 6 inches now. So 6 by 6, yes, so that's 6 inches here. That's how I've gotten this curve at this point. Then for the curve that is at this other end as well, you also want to come by 6 inches here. The 6 inches that you used here, you also want to come here as well and mark that 6 inches. Then go ahead and curve it the same way. So now at this point, this is what we are having for our front pattern. Like this is all. So this is what your front pattern should be looking like at this point. So now after cutting it out, then you can go ahead and cut out this part as well. You can just go ahead and measure it. This is the front. So now we'll go ahead and draft the back pattern, and this is how we'll go about it. First, you want to draw out your zipper line. So you want to go ahead and also draw out a straight line to serve as your starting point for your measurement, which is your shoulder line. So just as we did in the front, we will do in the back. The difference is just the shoulder to waist at the back. So starting from here, we mark the bust point at 9 inches, the bust point at 9 inches. We draw a straight line. Then for the shoulder to waist at the back, please do not mix up this measurement when you're doing your hole. There's a difference between the front measurement and the back measurement so far as the client has bust. So the one at the back is 14. So go ahead and mark your own measurement that you have measured, 14. Then my waist to hip, just like I did in front, is at 8 inches. At 8 inches. Then just like the extra two that we added at the front pattern, also add it at the back pattern. So this is what we have now. At this point, we'll go ahead and take our shoulder measurement, which is 14 divided by 2 for 7. So go ahead and mark the 7, come down by 1 inch for your shoulder slope. We're just repeating what we did in the front. Come in. You'll remember that your measurement is starting from this zipper line. All this is not included, so you're starting from here, 3 inches. Then go ahead and mark. Then you come down here by 1 inch for your neck depth for the back, 1 inch. Then go ahead and draw your curve. Then the chest line at 7 inches. How do we get the 7 inches again? That was the bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. So go ahead and mark a straight line. Then to have a straight measurement, go ahead and mark your shoulder measurement again on the chest line, 7 on the chest line. Then go ahead and draw a straight line to get your armhole. So now the bust 34 the bust 34 divided by 4 is at 8.5. So go ahead and mark your 8.5 on the chest line, just as we did in the front chest line. Then from your you divide your this what you have here, divide it by 2. Mine is at 7, so divided by 2 is 3.5 inches. Is are marked here. Then go ahead and draw your back armhole this way. We're not coming in by half an inch like we did in the front, because the back hole should not be the same as the front. So this is what this is looking like at this point. Then you also go ahead and do your nipple to nipple measurement, 3.5, just as we did in the front. The 3.5 here as well, 3.5. So you go ahead and draw a straight line on the nipple to nipple point you have just drawn out. So for your dart intake, half of an inch on both sides, half inch, 1 inch here, half inch here, another half inch here. So half of an inch on both sides. Come down by, you don't need to come down for this one, just from here connect your darts to the bust point. Also connect your darts this way. For the lower part, that's from your waist to hip, you want to come down by 6 inches, just as we did in front. Go ahead and take your darts this way. So at this point now, this is what we have. Then on your waist measurement, go ahead and take your waist measurement on your waistline. Go ahead and take your waist measurement. The waist divided by 6, the waist divided by 4, not 6. The waist divided by 4. For this client is at 26 inches. 26 divided by 4 is at 6.5. The 6.5 starts from this zip line, not this. From this, make sure that all your back measurement is starting from this line that you have demarcated for your zip. So 6.5. Then replace your dart. Do not forget to replace your dart, or else you will not be able to zip up. It will be too tight at that point. So go ahead and draw your curve, drawing it this way to this point here. Go ahead. Then for the back, sorry, for the down part, the hip line, you want to take your hip measurements at 38. For this person is 30. 38 divided by 4 is at 9.5 inches. Then you want to come extra, just as we did it in front, by 1.5 inches as we did in the front. So you connect it at this point as well. So this is what you are having. So just as you did in the front, just follow that line and extend it to the total length that you have just drawn out. So this is what the back should be looking like at this point. This is what yours too should be looking like. So just as we did in the front, if you don't know what you did, you can just go ahead and take what you had done in the front, go ahead and repeat it, just like draw it out and just cut it out so that it is the same thing. But I still remember what I did. I'll just go ahead and repeat it again. As you have in the front. So if I'm bringing it back, it will be the same thing. You want to eliminate the zipper bulge at the back, and this is how we do it. From your waistline, just come out. From your waistline, come out by half of an inch. Half of an inch. There's no need to replace this really, like this, half of an inch. Then you want to bring it up back. So from this point to the end here, just go ahead and draw it on a straight line. The same thing here as well. So this way we have eliminated the zipper bulge. So go ahead and cut this out just as we have cut the first one. So this is what we have at this point. As we did in the front, we can go ahead and split it open from the waistline. So this is what we have for the back. This is what it should be looking like. This is what yours should be looking like. And then the back, the back and the front is like this. But it's not going to be the same length because the front is bigger, is longer than the back. This is what it's going to be looking like at this point. So if there is a difference between your shoulder to waist at the front and shoulder to waist at the back, your pattern should there should be difference at this point for this block that I just drawn out. If you want to go ahead and put your darts on the pattern, you just slash it open here and bring it down this way. I'm going to be doing that on the fabric, so there's only for me to slash it open here. So by the time you are like done closing the dart at this point, your back should now be the same with the front, like this. So the reason for this is for the fitting, number one, and also so that the front does not look as if it is jumping. Because if you are using the same measurement for the front and the back, when it is not the same, one will be looking weird than the other. The front one will be jumping. So we'll go ahead and cut this out on our fabric. So at this point now, I have gone ahead to cut out what we have just drafted on the fashion fabric and also on the lining, the back. This is how it is looking like, and I have gone ahead to add sewing allowance and the stitching allowance. For the side, I used 2 inches at this point. For the armhole and this every other part here at half inches, only by the side I used 2 inches. Then the same thing for the front. The front was cut on fold like this, cut on fold this way, 2 inches stitching allowance, then the every other measurement half and for the back as well. I've gone ahead to cut this as well with the lining. It's not cut on fold, but I've cut 2 pieces of each fabric, 2 inches stitching allowance by the side, then every other part half an inch aside from this part that is 2 inches. The same thing for the front as well, same thing done for the front. The like this is the lining cut on fold, this is the lining cut on fold, then this is the other one here, 2 inches every other place half an inch. So I'll just go ahead now and stitch this just so this also, and also just so it is easy for me to know my dart point. I'm just going to like notch the point where the dart is starting from, like this way. Just going to cut it a bit so I know that these points are my dart by the time I remove the pattern. So I cut it on the lining and on the fashion fabrics. I'm going to do the same thing for the rest. At this point, I'm going to start by cutting out, by taking this out and showing you how it is to be stitched. So this is the front, this is what it's looking like. I'm going to place it together, right side facing right side. I'll go ahead and stitch it on the side by half an inch and also stitch it by the side half an inch. That is all the part I'll be stitching for the front block. Then for the back as well, sorry, for the down part, I'm going to go ahead and put this together. I'll also stitch by half an inch. I'll stitch by half an inch by this side all around, half an inch up to this point, but I will leave this part. I will leave this part but stitch the rest half an inch all around for the front. So this is this point here, right side facing right side, right side facing right side. So I'll go ahead and stitch from the zipper line on the side, on this side, and also this side. I'll go ahead and stitch it that way. Then for the down part as well, I'll also go ahead and stitch. Make sure that your lining are facing right side facing right side this way. I'll go ahead and stitch by half an inch all around except this upper part, there. So I'll go ahead and stitch half an inch all around except this upper part. Let me just do that. At this point now, I've gone ahead to turn each pattern into this. I've attached the lining and I've also gone ahead to do the that. I also try to iron it down. Remember, when you're trying to do your own, do not forget to notch the curved part so that it will be easier for you for it to lay. So this is what the back pattern is looking at this point. I have, just like I said, explained earlier, I did not join this upper part.
I just joined these sides by half of an inch, and also this sides, this part as well, I left it. So I'll continue with this. I'm going to go ahead and join this together this way, run a stitch by half an inch, and also run a stitch by half an inch for the back pattern. For the front pattern as well, I have gone ahead to add my darts and also use my lining. I also did not join this part yet, so this is how it is looking like. See how the bust dart is as giving space for us uh, to accommodate the bust at this end here. So I will also go ahead and also attach this lower part to this upper part this way by half of an inch. So at this point now, I've gone ahead to attach, as I just said. If you have a weaving machine, please go ahead to weave this part and also every other part that you have joining. At the neckline, I've gone ahead to go and just stitch it this way. The same thing as well for this other one. So now you want to put the back and the front together, right side facing right side. This will be faced like this. So go ahead and join by the shoulders, do the same thing for the other part, join by the shoulders and then also by the sides using the remaining stitching allowance. So in case you don't know how to just know what to take in for this remaining seam allowance, you can just go ahead and measure on this part. For me, I'm starting from the waist. The waist is 26 inches, so 26 divided by 2 now is 13. So the 13 is here, the 13 is here. So you want to go ahead and mark and know the remaining that you have on this point. It's about 3 inches. So whatever is remaining as your seam allowance is what you will divide by 2. Here I'm having it on 3, so 3 divided by 2 is at 1.5 inch. So I'll mark 1.5 inches on both sides. So that would be what I will use to take in the waist part. So by the time I measure the bust, so it's going to be around the same thing. 34 for me. So 34 divided by 2 should be 17. At 17. So you want to go ahead and measure your 17 as well. Is at this point. So whatever you have left is at 2.5 inches at this point. So just go ahead and divide it by 2. Replace it here. Bring the remaining one at this other part. So for this part now, you can just go ahead and just try to connect your dot this way. So the same thing as well. You can measure this part if you are not sure, but this is how it's going to be like. So by the time I'm joining this by right side facing right side, I'm just going to follow this line that I've just drawn out to stitch it as my remaining seam allowance. So now at this point, I've gone ahead to join this front and back together and also gone ahead to join by the shoulders. So this is what is looking like at this point for front and the back. So now we want to proceed with the collar, and to get the collar, you have to measure around this your neckline here, measure around it. So here I'm having it at 15.5, so you can measure as much as you can just so that you are sure of the figure that you are getting. So still 15.5. So that 15.5 that I've just gotten now is what we'll be working on now for the collar part. Now to draft out the collar, you will need to get a fresh pattern paper like this one, and you proceed to draft it out. Remember that when I measured my own, it was 15.5. So yours could be more, it could be less. So just go with whatever figure that you get when you have. So whatever figure you get, divide it by 2. For me, it was 15.5. So 15.5 divided by 2 now is at this point here. So it's at this point, I'll just go ahead and mark that on my pattern. Here. So at this point here, so this place will be the back, this place will be the front. So now you want to go from this point here as by 1 inch, that is the height of the collar, 1 inch up here. So that 1 inch as well, you also want to go by it here. And after that, you can go ahead and draw it this way. So at this point, this is what the collar is looking like for now. So at this point now, once you've gotten to this stage, you want to get the midpoint of what you have here, the midpoint. So my own midpoint is at this point here. So from this midpoint, you want to go up by 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, this end as well, 1.5 inches. From this, divide this into 2. From the middle part, go up by 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches at this end as well. So now for the front part, you want to determine how long you want your collar to be, dependent on what you want. But for this one here, I want to use 8 inches. So the 8 inches will start from this height here. Go ahead and mark it at this point. So this is what we are having now. So all this point that we had done now, we'll go ahead and join them together. So connect the straight lines first this way. So now, depending on the kind of shape that you want, you can just go ahead and do it straight, connect it straight. But I don't want that shape. I want mine to have some kind of curve. So from this point here to this point here, I'll try to draw out a curve the way I can. So you can just blend in your curve at where you feel like it is too sharp. So this is what I'm having now at this point. You go ahead and split this, but you remember that this front here is to be cut on fold. This part is to be cut on fold and indicates this is the part going up, this is the part going down, so that you don't get confused. Just try to indicate it. So now at this point, you go ahead and cut 2 of this on fold, cut 2 of this on fold like this. Then you cut 4 pieces of this. It is not to be on fold, it is not to be on fold. Go ahead and cut this one on 4 different pieces. So right now I have gone ahead to cut this on what the fabric I want to use as the collar. So this is what it's looking like at this point. This part is cut on fold, like I said, is cut on fold like this. So it is unfold this way, and this part as well have gone ahead to add same allowance aside from this part, which is this part as well. Aside from this part here, we don't need same allowance at that, because the round measurements that we took on the neckline already include the zipper allowance, so there is no need for allowance on this edge. So like I said, I've gone ahead to cut 4 pieces of this. I've gone to mark the front and the back that I want to use at front and the back. But before I proceed, I would like to tell you that I strongly recommend that you laminate whatever fabric that you want to use as your collar to give it more structure and firmness. The reason I'm not laminating mine is because I do not have any to spare right now. So that's why I'm not laminating it. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. But please, if you have, I strongly recommend that you go ahead and laminate your own. I use cotton stay to laminate the other one in the yellow color that I made first. I laminated that one with cotton stay. So I strongly recommend. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch this hand like this. Stitch from here, this down part, and here I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to stitch it. The stitching is only going to come from this curve down to this point here. The same thing on the side like this. So the down part and this sides, I'm going to be leaving it. I'm not stitching that. At this point, I have joined the collar and I've also gone ahead to press it down to iron it at this point. So for the collar stand itself, this is what it's looking like. I've added soft collar gum to this, to one part of it. This, so now you want to get the middle point of this. So once you have the middle, you want to place it like this. Place it this way. You place it like this. Then the other piece, remember that I was told that we cut for the down part. That one is not laminated with anything. So you also want to place it on the middle this way. Then go ahead and stitch on a straight line. That's all. Just stitch on a straight line. So let me do that and bring it back. So after joining at the middle on a straight line by half of an inch, this is what is looking like at. Please go ahead to iron yours properly, and this is what we have. So the collar is ready now. So you bring back your fabric, your top that you had made earlier. Then you want to notch the middle. Put the ends together like this. Put them together like this. Then notch the middle. That. Then also for this as well, put this together. You want to get the middle as well. Go ahead and notch. So now this is what you have. You are going to be joining this collar to the top. So the part that has the hard one will be the one that will be at the back. So this is what will be facing you here. So you can just go ahead and place it this way and just notch by notch, place it together. Go ahead and stitch all around to the end. The same thing like this. If you're doing it this way, you'll have to weave the neck part. But if you don't want to do it this way, that you want to do the knit part or something, so you can just put this like this. You can try to iron that out so that it will be easier for you. So you can iron it out like this, fold it by this end. Then after you have done that, you will now put this in the middle. So you put this like this. Let's say it is ironed out like this here. Let's say it is ironed out like this. Then you put this in the middle. Then the other part that you had, for example, ironed like this, you place it on it. Then go ahead and stitch down. So whichever method that you want to do is fine. So that just make sure that this, if you're using this part, the fabric itself is in the middle. So just go ahead. If you do it this way, actually it is neater. So at this point now, this is what the collar is looking like.
I've gone ahead to add the zipper, allow the zip at the back. This is what the collar is looking like at the back, and this is what it's looking like at the front. I've not ironed yet. I've also not joined the sleeve, so this is what it's looking like. Please ignore the chaos in the background, but this is what we have at this point. This is a full top here. This is what it's looking like at the back. I have gone ahead to join this zipper, and I have not joined the sleeves yet. So just go ahead and add sleeves to your own. So this is what we are having here. So now for the skirt, it is just a gathered skirt. Really, I just gathered it. I first made a band of 1.5 inches. So if you are cutting this or fold, it will be at 2 inches plus the same allowance. And then I went ahead to cut a band that is in my waist size like this, at 26 inches plus zip allowance, and I use 28 in total. My waist is 26, but I use 28 in total so that the remaining one will serve as my zipper allowance, as you can see here. And I, for the gathered part, it is a thick crepe. I did not line it. I even did not weave it as well, because I made it some hours to Sunday, so I just did it like that. So if you are doing your own, you can choose to line it, you can choose to weave it. Mine is not lined and it still turned out full. So what I did was to multiply my waist times 4. My waist times 4, this is what I gathered on this, my actual waistband. So that's all. So the total length of the skirt plus the band is 20, is at 23, let's just say 23 and a half. So if you're looking to cut the same length for yourself, this is how you are going to cut it: 4.5 inches for the band, then the remaining one you are going to subtract it to get the length of your gathers. But for the waist part, it is just as I said, my waist times 4, then I cut it on a straight line, then I proceeded to attach it to the to gather it on the band, and added my zip allowance and also fixed my zipper. So that is all about the skirt.
So this is the end of this. You can see that there is difference in the color because of there is no stay in it. So if you find this helpful, please do not forget to subscribe, to like, to drop a comment. Thank you for watching.